Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for Bitcoin Cash. Just wanted to give you a quick update on the count, and not much has changed, but I did change my stop, and there is a current setup for this potential third wave to the upside. Now in this scenario, we had a wave 1 and 2, came between the 50 and the 618 per our guidelines with Elliott Wave. We then had a diagonal for a 1-2 of one lesser degree, had a running flat here, which is a bullish signal, and had a micro 1 and 2. We're working on another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for our third in that micro, looking for a fourth wave and a fifth to complete the third of this third wave of one lesser degree. Now, at this point, this looks like it needs to get very extended on the micro, and I'll show you that. But what I find tends to happen is we respect our fib extensions from the larger degree, and these just get panned out. Because if we come up shy here and just hit the 1-to-1 at this area in blue at 597, that's an area of interest where we could reject, and this would be potentially relabeled and as something more complex. But right now we're bullish. I don't see any indications of that currently, so we'll talk about that if it happens. So as of right now, I want this third wave on the micro to hit between 811 and 981. After that, we would expect a deeper correction for that fourth wave and our eventual fifth of the third up at 1333. So right now my scalp is just up between 811 and 981, and I'd look for a retrace at that point. Close my long, look for a re-entry lower, because it should come back to around 597 if we hit that level. But it's good we're consolidating above for this wave 1, which is good. We've broken through some resistance and consolidating above. So these are all bullish signs to keep this trend intact. We'll go down to the micro and talk about that. So right now, this was obviously a deep wave 4 in that micro third. Going back out. I don't have this labeled currently, but just bear with me that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for that fifth in that micro third wave. But it should get extended if we're going to hit those targets. So we had a WXY come down. It came past the 1.618 extension of the first W off the Y. That was that crazy sell-off. This actually hit the 618 retracement, and off that low we've made what appears to be a diagonal. Had a nice WXY between our time guidelines, took our time from this wave here, extended out in time. So you can see we hit that 618 and the 1-to-1, and now we're reversing nicely. So back out to the 4-hour. The alternative where we're not ready to go yet is we would need an equal length wave as this A wave. This could still be a B wave, and we get this C wave down before we attempt more upside. But again, unless we get stopped out here, that's just what I'm aware of where I'd want to take a long in the future. We'd just be retesting these highs and most likely reject again to the upside. Our invalidation there was that 1.618 of this wave A. We ticked through it with a wick, but we didn't close above, so it's still completely valid, although it's outside of guidelines. So that's if this happens, I'd be looking for an entry at the 1-to-1 around 262. That would just be a retest, and I would see that scenario playing out if Bitcoin did a C wave flash crash before recovering to the upside. If you haven't seen my Bitcoin video, I would suggest checking that out. That's the alternative. But as of right now, tracking 2 counts off this low at 355. The first one is a 5-wave impulse, like so, to complete that micro third. Looking for this to push up to 665, get a correction back to around 550, and target our 5th wave there between 750 and 844. And that would complete our micro third. But we also have to be aware, I mentioned to you in last video, that this could make a flat pattern, which is up at 550. Can even come a little bit higher, the 1.236, the 1.382. I'll throw those on. And the reason we have to be aware of that is it's right within our B zone of this 3-wave move here, and we can easily make a 1-to-1 in this zone as an A, B, C. And if that happens, I'd be looking for a long in this area, stop at this A-wave low. I know it seems complicating, but you need to navigate and know all these potentials so that nothing takes you by surprise, right? So as of right now, what I've done is raise my stop here to the 335, and that should protect all these scenarios except for that drawdown to the 1-to-1 at 262. And if we pass through that 1.236 and hit a 1.618 extension, probabilities have it that that's a 3rd wave. So I might then raise my stop up if we come to that level. All right, so looking for a clean path right now. I also extended, if this is our wave 2 low, then I extended in time of wave 1 off of wave 2, and the 3rd wave should complete between the 1-to-1 in time and the 1.618 in time, which would be Saturday the 16th at the 1.618, hitting the 1.618. Now that's ideal. Nothing says it has to do that, but I always put on my guidelines just to make me aware of the potentials and the time frame I expect things to pan out. So if something's not following guidelines, I can consider other options. But as of right now, it looks good. We have a 382 retracement off this 1-2 on log scale. On linear, we're between the 382 and the 50. So there is a possibility this gets one more pop down between the 50 and the 618, but that's why I have my stop here. But we have reached our time guidelines between the 618 and the 1-to-1. So it looks good either way. See if we have a 5-wave move here. Potentially 5 waves up. But if you choose to trade this, my only suggestion would be stop just past the 618, which is at 367.97 according to MEXC. We shouldn't come back to that level if this is a 1-2. So not a lot of room to invalidate this, about 15%. So not too much risk there. And if that fails, again, expecting that 262 area for another long. All right. So there you go. That's what we're looking for in the future. Again, if this fails, looking for another long from here, and would consider this a running flat, looking for the upside. All right, guys, that's it for BCH. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.